To be honest here, from Windsor to Toronto to Sudbury, I have lots of people say to me, what are you guys doing in London? Because that's all we keep hearing about is the London music scene.
Right.
Which sounds like, there's a lot of people on the ground doing the work to pull things together. Like the London Music Office committees I'm on, one's a musicians task force, one's a business of music task force. Mm-hmm. And the business of music task force takes representatives from education, music education, venues, musicians, arts councils involved, London Arts Council. Mm-hmm. So you have this melting pot of ideas and people coming up with things. They built the Flex Street here. Now the Flex Street in London downtown, for people that don't know, is going to be a special area of downtown London core, which for the most part in the 80s, 90s, and now has been just like an apocalyptic piss hole.
Right.
It's going to have live music in the summertime. They're going to have special events about live music. All I can say is, and if you have these committees, you have to leave your ego at the door. Like when I walk into any of the London Music Office committees, I don't say a thing about Allstage.
Right.
Allstage is left at the elevator. Mm-hmm. Everybody that I work with on those committees, they do the exact same thing. Okay. Hats off to them. It's not about them. It's not about getting across their agenda.
Yep.
It's about collectively working together.
Okay.
The one thing I'm really starting to see, and it never used to be this way, there was cover bars in the city and indie bars. The two never crossed.
Right.
And Adelaide Street here was like the magic line.
Okay.
The indie bars and indie bands played there. Those of us in cover bands, we played there. Now what you're seeing is the indie bands are crossing over and getting gigs in the cover club bars.
Oh, great.
Which I think is just dynamite because we have got some killer indie
That's
bands.
amazing, actually.
So that's one thing that's happened, that it's that little antagonistic wall between the two camps is crumbling.
Right.
And now these young indie musicians are getting into clubs that usually were owned by guys like me.
Right.
And not only are they getting in the clubs, they're getting in the clubs doing a killer job because they're really good bands, and then they're getting booked back in.
That's amazing.
And you know, that just opens the floodgate. And you know, like London Music Hall downtown, they get lots of indie bands out there. That's like the crown jewel of bars here in the city. Like it's huge. Mike Manuel sunk $2 or $3 or $4 million in this place.
Okay.
Big stage, full production, seats like 1,400 people. They get indie bands in there, which is a great platform. They get them to open for bigger acts coming through, like Uriah Heep or whatever. So that's worked out really good there. It gives, and they get paid. It's not a, oh, we'll do this for exposure shit.
Right.
They get paid as they should. But yeah, the crossover to the cover band clubs, that's the one thing I'm kind of like, this is cool. Because now we're both on the same stage.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Don't forget, you can subscribe to our full audio episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you find your audio podcasts. The full episodes, highlights, and our live off-the-floor performance videos can be found at our YouTube channel, and you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the AVB Podcast. Of course, you'll find links to our incredible sponsors and this week's guest in the description below. The AVB Podcast is part of the Border City Network. Find more great content at bordercitynetwork.com. See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.